Oh, we're good to go. So,
once the not recording sign goes away, you're live.
Yeah, I know that, Mike.
You're
I'm just
live
making
now.
it fun. I'm making fun of it. It's funny. Look how white my room is. The camera. Okay, anyway, Mike's gonna talk about stuff. It's about ransomware. I don't know exactly on today's not so critical update. Yeah, Mike.
Just gonna leave it on you now. You are in a very white room. What's that about?
It's so bright. Besides that super orange shoebox.
I guess I'm curious why this is a story now, because it's not new, right? Like, I guess it's interesting. Basically, the gist of the story is that ransomware gangs run like real companies. They have support departments, they have business plans, they have financial models because they're actual businesses. And this is the point of the Slate article. I guess what surprises me is just that, like, I feel like I've known this for 10 years. Why is this a big deal now? And maybe it's not a big deal now, but it is kind of interesting to just see these kinds of articles that talk about how ransomware is just a business like any other business. Totally true. Totally obvious. I think there are a couple of reasons that we could talk about, but just fun story.
Well, I don't think it's totally obvious at all, actually.
Really?
I think that most people think of ransomware as being run by evil hackers with hoodies and I don't know,
gloves on the keyboard.
How is that different than any normal business, any other business?
Oh right, yeah, no, that's true.
Right, of course.
I don't understand the distinction.
It's funny, but also totally correct. This is not common knowledge. This is hacking as a service, and it is so funny that it's a thing, and they have borderline, almost implied service license agreements.
Yeah, they have better customer service than startups. Yeah. That's the crazy.
They have money back guarantees. They have it's just insane how far they go from both sides, right? The post hack dealing with the victim to the potential person who's buying the hack. Like we're in a new age of computer intrusion.
You can have multiple revenue streams.
You can definitely, and it's a gig economy out there. So
yeah, for sure,
you can't make enough money, ransomwaring poor mom and pop cafes. You try to sell your services, become a consultant.
It makes perfect sense for the business model. Like, you think of hackers as like stealing something, but in reality, they're selling you your data back. And so the business model breaks down if you can't pay them, or it's too difficult to pay them and you can't get your data back. It breaks down if you pay them and they don't restore your data, because it breaks trust in the system. Like, there's a trust relationship here. You're saying, I'm going to pay you, you're going to give me data back.
The problem isn't what they're doing and the actual hacking people. That's easy. They can do that. The problem is the value judgment they make of when do they charge too much and when do they not charge enough? How can they get their maximum return on investment here? When it becomes, and that's when it's back to
you just reminded me. Oh my God, how did I forget this? You guys remember the NVIDIA hack with Conti? I think it was Conti.
They were going to hit the Lapsus, wasn't it?
Official, unofficial update. Lapsus. Mining software for these GPUs just released a full unlock, which means that they went and used the NVIDIA files to create a custom mining software that surpasses this software lock that was pretty much impossible to do up until now. Without NVIDIA obviously they didn't open source, or we'd have done an article on this, without NVIDIA open sourcing everything.
For your computers now catching fire in the background.
Yeah. So that's pretty much. That's like one example of what a unique case of kind of ransomware, but not really, because they were holding the files ransom, but not in the traditional crypto locker way. More in, we have this now.
that's just a different sales tactic, really, isn't it? That's just the advantage you get or the.
I guess that's just good old blackmailing.
But the challenge you described, Peter, though, is what business owners deal with. For most business owners, it's really relatively easy to do the thing that you do. That's why you started the business. Yeah. But setting up the support systems and the pricing structures and sales system, like all that's the hard part.
The other, okay, so I want to just mention something that I was found out recently. So we've actually talked about this before, about the number of data breaches that have happened, health data breaches, where there's a website, the US Center for Security something or other, where health companies have to, when they've had a data breach that affects more than 500 individuals, they have to report it to the government. And there's a site you can go
to. The whole thing,
yeah. So we graphed at work, we noticed that there had been a bunch of, we noticed something. We started looking into healthcare. And I went to this page. We got a graph made of the number of breaches that had happened and the number of individuals that had been affected. It was really interesting because last year, there were fewer attacks against with a greater number of people affected. So it seems like bigger institutions were being hacked. And it's kind of switched to being a larger number of attacks with a fewer number of people affected. So I think what's happened is that the bigger organizations have invested more money into their protections, but the smaller organizations don't have the budget to shore up their IT defenses, their cyber defense. So the hackers have gone after the smaller organizations because they want to keep up their return on investment, and they've kind of shifted to market conditions, and they've like adapted their sales strategy, and they, it's like fascinating to me that this isn't about becoming better hackers or anything like that. It's just like, how can we keep making money? It's amazing. Anyway, that's their target market has shifted. They've saturated the market in one area, and now they need to kind of look at different audience.
And then you've got like the double totally blanked. Double extortion ransomware, where they ding you for the decryption in the first place, and then extort you for or blackmail you, I guess, to not release the data. Then you probably on the back end have the ability to sell the information that you've extracted from people's networks. Lots of ways to make money here.
There was another story that where was it? The IM PyTest gave this to us. The Mayor Troop, the city paid ransom in cyber attacks. So Quincy Mayor Mike Troop on Tuesday confirmed during a news conference on Tuesday that the city was a victim of a cyber attack in which there was an encryption key, blah, blah, blah. On Monday night, the city council approved a resolution authorizing emergency payment. So the city caved. And there was a stat I heard recently, I think in the last week, where I think 30% of people who paid their ransom would pay it again. People who got hacked by ransomware were like, this was way too much hassle. We just pay it and fix it.
But we'd also done a study a couple of months ago about fewer companies paying ransoms and relying more on just backing up from restoring from backups.
That's true. The defenses are getting better and the recovery times are getting better, but I think, I don't know, maybe perhaps it was conflicting studies. Who knew?
And there was a story we didn't do this week about a bank that responded with dick pics.
Oh yeah, that was a government bank. It was like the Bank of Nigeria or something. That was
Jesus.
Funny. Yeah, they
just told the hackers, go fuck yourself. We're going to restore from backups.
Yeah. That was, bold. I don't know, man. I find it kind of fascinating, the whole thing. Watching it from the sidelines, I just hope I never get hacked myself. I don't know what to do.